going on, everybody? Rob Hoke here of the Bass Stalkers. This is tournament stop number 5 for the Orange County Bassmasters. It is at Toronto Reservoir in Sullivan County, New York. Yeah, it's a small lake. It's not one that I would prefer to fish. I kind of like the bigger lakes where you can kind of get away from the crowds and kind of do your own thing. With these small lakes like this, you might get one or two spots that are kind of fresh for you, but then after that, you're fishing behind people. But like I said, 5th stop. It's been a relatively tough start to the year for me. I had 2 bad events to start the year, and I mean, I don't know what the issue was, what I wasn't doing or what I was doing wrong, but it was kind of tough, and I kind of just kept working hard and try to right the ship a little bit. But here I'm just working the bank, starting shallow. In my practice day, I saw some fish cruising shallow. I saw a couple fish left on beds, and I'm just throwing moving baits. Whenever I see a laydown, I pitch to it, but trying to work shallow, see if I can get one off a bed. Just a bonus fish in the morning. There wasn't really much way out deep, and there really wasn't much shallow, so I knew I kind of wanted to target that mid-range for this event. I figured that's how it would be won. I figured I could run around and catch 5 on beds, but the ones I was finding on beds were bucks that were way post-spawn, and they were kind of just fry garters that were really sucked out. They were really thin. So I didn't think that was going to do it. I figured I'd start with that mid-depth and try to get at least 1 or 2 better quality fish. I've never really had great luck on this lake catching big ones, but I figured if I could catch 10 to 12 pounds on this lake, that's a decent bag for this time of year with the conditions, with the post-spawn conditions and fish kind of locked up, kind of scattered everywhere. So that was my goal, 10 to 12 pounds. And I needed just one good one. I figured I needed one like 3-pounder, and I'd get there. But like I said, I'm just beating this bank, throwing moving baits, chatterbaits, swim jigs, pitching a jig to objects. And I really wanted to fish this dock up ahead of the boat. That was something I really want. I got bit on. I got actually 2 bites on that dock in practice, so I shook one of them off. So I really wanted to see maybe I can get a big largemouth post-spawn female that's living under there. But kind of just working around, getting a feel for the day. Like I said, I wanted to start up shallow. Maybe there was some post-spawn fish that might have been hanging out a little deeper that kind of pulled up to feed. But my biggest concern was I wanted to skip a jig under this dock. And after this, I move out and fish kind of my primary pattern that I planned on doing before the day started. I mean, practice days are good. Sometimes you have good practice. I didn't have a great practice here. I caught some fish, but I caught some shallow, some deep, and some mid-range. So it really didn't narrow anything down. So I kind of, because I didn't really get a lot of information from my practice day, I kind of just determined based on the seasonal habits of the fish and knowing what happens post spawn. I figured my better chance of getting a bite that I could recreate throughout the lake was fishing that mid-range. And this water in this lake is relatively clear. When I talk about mid-range, I'm talking 10 to 15 feet, and that's really what my main focus on for the day was. where like old channels or ditches or just straight drop off or a little rock outcrop that was 10 to 15 feet of water. And there it is, the Flash Mob Junior. But right here I'm just fishing a channel that kind of cuts in closer to this bank. I figured it's a good alleyway for them to use to get in and out of this pocket, to leave their spawning area, to come into the spawning area, to come in to feed, and boom, fish on. First fish of the day. Um, 2-pounder. Wasn't anything crazy. I mean, that's, if I could get 5 2-pounders, or 4 2-pounders and a 2.5, or 4 2-pounders and a 3-pounder, I would have thought I had a good chance to win. But just a 2-pounder. First fish of the day is always nice. And I take really long to get this fish in the live well. I have a bad habit of leaving my live well on and forgetting to turn it off, and then it just keeps overflowing into my boat. Plus, I don't let any lake water come into my boat until I catch my first fish. I really, especially post spawn, once it starts getting hot, I just put a bag of ice in each live well, like a 7-pound bag of ice in each live well, put some G-juice in there, and just kind of let it sit there and slowly melt. And then once I catch my first fish, I'll pump water and fill it up. And I'm just messing around with it right now. I like it so far, knock on wood. I haven't lost any fish doing that. And what I have is I have frozen like Gatorade bottles in my cooler that are like 3/4 full and frozen of water. So what I'll do is I'll let, once I see that ice has melted in my live well, I'll put one of those Gatorade bottles that are frozen in the live well, and it'll just keep that water cool throughout the day. And I'll have 6 to 8 Gatorade bottles that are frozen solid for one fishing day. Uh, and it just helps keep the water cool. In the summertime, if you're catching fish anything, over 6-7 feet deep, that water down there's a lot cooler, and then you throw the fish in your live wells and you have the 90-degree sun beating down on it. Yep, there's another one. And yes, that's 2 casts with the A-rig, and I caught 2 fish. So that kind of told me everything I needed to know, that the fish were in that depth range, that 10 to 15 foot. But like I was saying about the live wells, you have that 90-degree sun beating down on the back deck of your boat, and it's going to heat that water up. So it's a lot easier to keep water cold as opposed to cool down warm water. So that's just been the way I attack keeping my fish alive and managing my fish, is with the ice and the ice bottles. And so far so good. I haven't seen anything I disliked about it. It works pretty well. So I'll keep doing it. So after I fish this little channel spot, I end up going down that bank. There was a couple fish on beds on that bank that I saw the other day that I didn't catch. And I just wanted to see if I mean, one of them looked like maybe a 2.5, 3-pound largemouth. So after I got done messing with this channel, I wanted to kind of check that bank and see if I could get that fish to fire. This is just a perch. That wasn't fun. But I ended up going down that bank, and there's another dock at the end that I also caught a largemouth off of. So I want to check that as well. Now, my plan for this day was not to throw the A-rig. When I was fishing the first dock that I was skipping under, I saw this. See, this lake has alewives or sawbellies or whatever you call them. That's a big forage base up here in New York. And I saw like a school of them kind of flickering at the surface and breaking the surface because something was chasing them. And at this lake, I know that there's schools of these alewives, and so I always have an A-rig rigged up, but just in case. And I figure, you know what, there's a chance that, if I start seeing deep schools of bait with fish going after them, I'm gonna maybe pick this thing up. Maybe I can get one or two to fire on it. But I mean, two fish and two casts, that kind of sent me on my way. I still wanted to check some of my shallow stuff because it is early, and sometimes you can get a nice bite early from a big fish that's pulled up. But yeah, I'm just gonna work this bank to that dock you see ahead. So I want to check that out. But I'm still kind of in search mode. I'm trying to, if I found a shallow pattern and a deeper pattern, that's perfect, because then I can kind of mix the two, and instead of narrowing yourself to one specific kind of fish that day, whether it's a deep fish, shallow fish, or mid-range fish, now I'm catching two sets. Is kind of how I look at it. If I find a shallow pattern and a mid-depth pattern, I now have two pots that I'm going to be able to catch fish and pull from. But that's what caused me. Once I saw that school being a little shallower in the kind of in the middle of that pocket, I knew there was bait around, and I also knew that there were bass around. So throwing something that resembles a small little school of bait is perfect for that situation. And like I said, I mean, position-wise, I kind of just got lucky that I got bit on my first two casts. But I mean, and that's relatively a quick start. Luckily, ever since the first two tournaments were over, I've been starting relatively quick, which is good. I hate those tournaments where it's like 10 o'clock, you still don't have a bite. That's not fun. That weighs on you a little bit. It kind of puts a little pressure on you. But if you do your practice and you have a good idea of what the fish are doing and where the fish are at, you normally don't go that long without a bite unless it's just a really tough day. And I mean, this whole lake's tough right now. So, but we got two in the box. Look for a couple more. We'll see. And number three. Number three, just a keeper, probably, pound, pound and a half, something like that. But 5 here goes a long way, and especially if you can get, a couple of those above average fish. You catch this time of year, you catch a 3 and some 2s, you're gonna be tough to beat a lot of days. But yeah, I mean, I have 3 fish in like the first 45 minutes, so that tells me, at least for the first part of the day, this is what I need to be throwing. So, but like I said, hope you like the videos. We're gonna try. I'm trying to get Joey and Dean and Paul to buy some GoPros so they can start doing some videos, because right now I'm the only one with working GoPros. But trying to get them to get some so you can see we could kind of take a tournament day with all 4 of us on 4 different boats, and I can cut it all together and you can kind of see action from the tournament from all 4 of us. I think it'll be pretty cool. But that's even if you like the tournament videos. If you like the tournament videos, leave a comment or something so that I know to keep doing them. We're gonna try to get out and get some more footage. It's been hectic. We've had a really busy tournament schedule this year. So far, I'm having boat issues. Dean had boat issues, so it's tough to get out there. And I've been so concerned with getting on the fish because, like I said, I started the year with two not great tournaments on lakes that I felt I should be catching them on. So when I was fishing, I was trying so hard to just focus on the fishing and kind of get out of this rut that I'm in. So we'll see. Hope you like the videos. Stay tuned. Hopefully we got some more coming out soon. I'm working on another one already. So, but thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you again soon.